The Gremory class is the final stop for the many magically inclined female units of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. With magic blasts, access to many of the elements, as well as a freaking sky laser, which is a Warriors classic by the way, each Gremory definitely has plenty of options in battle. Let's jump in and find out everything they can do. The Gremory's regular attack string consists of 7 attacks. You will throw out magic to your front, another blast in front of you, spin and shoot out another volley, fire a thinner line ahead, fire off a circular formation of magic, shoot out a very wide range, and then finish with 2 lines of magic that later explode. Compared to other master classes, this regular attack string is a bit underwhelming, even when compared to the previous class in this line, the Warlock. It feels slow, lacks movement, and although this might just be me, I really don't like how these little motes of light look compared to the massive spheres of magic the Warlock could throw out. It just doesn't feel very master classy to me. Ultimately, that's not important, it's just an aesthetics thing, and this class is very much more about its strong attacks, and learning this regular attack string is just a means to an end. Let's jump over to those strong attacks now. For your first strong attack, you will call down the aforementioned Sky Laser, which lasts for as long as you hold the button, or until your class gauge runs out. Your class gauge fills up over time, or from you landing other strong attacks on your foes. This laser can really pound damage into a chosen area, and it can also be directed around with the control stick while it is being channeled. Keep in mind that you are entirely immobile while channeling it, which can be very dangerous for the Gremory depending on how much damage you're currently taking from enemies for your current difficulty level. This move, like many other class actions, can additionally be strung onto the end of any of your other strong attacks, with its additional benefit being that it also gains the element of that strong attack, which can make it even more deadly. As you'll see in a moment, it's not hard to understand what element goes into each subsequent strong attack. But before I get into those later attacks, I think it might be helpful to quickly review all of the elemental types of damage and the status effects or quirks that are tied to them. So, quick overview, here we go. Fire attacks can cause the Burning status effect, which is a damage over time effect that can also make your foes explode when hit by another attack. Ice attacks cause the Frozen status effect, which renders enemies unable to move or attack. Ice and the Frozen status effect are by far my favorite, by the way. Lightning magic can cause the Shocked status effect, which will make your foes explode with electricity when you send them flying, which can further spread the Shocked status effect. This one is really good at clearing crowds. Wind magic can cause the Wind Torn status effect, which makes enemies launched into the air take additional damage. These attacks can also release further wind magic that can also cause Wind Torn on nearby units. Dark magic can cause the Spellbound status effect, which makes enemies move slower and have lower defense and resistance. Additionally, them guarding does not prevent any of your damage from getting through, which is very powerful indeed. Unfortunately, the Gremory at its base does not have access to this element. Last up, light magic attacks may restore your own HP when you use them. However, not every type of light attack gains this. For the ones that do, however, the more enemies you hit, the more your health will recover. As I said before, the Gremory does not have access to dark magic, which makes characters who can do dark damage or be able to inflict the Spellbound status effect on their own, such as Lysithea, very good choices as a Gremory. One last note before I go on to other attacks. Keep in mind that if you are locked onto your target, your laser will always appear directly above them. If you're not locked on, the laser simply appears a couple feet in front of you and then you need to move it around. This is a great way to immediately hit them no matter where they are, as long as you have your target locked. Alright, other attacks now. For your second strong attack, you will create a large wind elemental tornado just in front of you. Like you might expect, this is the traditional launching attack, which can allow you to juggle your foes, which means your class action laser holding them midair will be even more powerful than usual. Your third strong attack will have you send out 3 lines of ice in a wide area in front of you. This ice will explode after a moment, which can do a good job of taking a chunk out of weak point gauges. Next up, your fourth strong attack creates a massive light elemental explosion just in front of you. Your fifth strong attack will have you create a fire elemental eruption from the ground in front of you, which ends with fireballs erupting from it and landing in a circle around you. Next up, the sixth strong attack has you call down several lightning elemental bolts in front of you, which hit in a wide area from where you channel them. Last up, your 7th strong attack will have you spin and create an extremely large light elemental blast. Given the wide area of this one, it's naturally a good source of recovering your own HP if used on a big group. With all of the Gremory's attacks now covered, let's put everything together and see how they add up, while also covering the other non-attack related parts of their kit. The Gremory's full moveset, while very front-facing, can absolutely tear apart crowds, while their class action laser can more than take care of almost any single target with a good extended beaming. Of course, you are likely to fit in a lot of your own magical combat arts as well, since the Gremory's own abilities heavily encourage you to do so. To start off, the Gremory comes with every kind of magic mastery ability, for black, dark, and white magic. All of these skills reduce the cooldown of the corresponding magic combat arts, which means a high durability weapon is a very good idea for a Gremory to hold. Given the prevalent amount of healing in the game through items that you bring along and pickups that appear on the field, I would probably load up on black or dark magic and just go to town whenever things got hairy. Seriously, if you can't be bothered to see how some fight plays out and how much damage you might take, just throw a magic spell their way. They are incredibly powerful with the Gremory. Last up in your ability suite is the Bow Buster level 4, which follows on from all the other magic classes before it. As we'll see in another time, this makes the Gremory the more straightforward magic user that sticks with what you know, while the Dark Bishop for male casters goes a more specific, unique route. When it comes to whether I recommend the Gremory or not, well, the developers kind of made that choice for me. If your magic user is female, this is all they get. While I might have issues with how the magic looks, seeming a bit puny compared to what came before, I really can't argue with the power that their strong attacks and magic casting can bring. This is a great class to end up as. However, it isn't always the best choice for every single one of the female magic users. Out of the 44 playable characters in the game, 11 of them fit this female caster archetype and are recommended towards becoming a Gremory as their master class. That's 25% of all the characters in the game being pushed towards just one class. You do not need that many Gremorys. In case you don't believe me, the list is Constance, Happy, Flayn, Manuela, Dorothea, Monica, Mercedes, Annette, Lysithea, Marianne, and Sothis. Additionally, if you're playing as a female Shez, this will also be the recommended final class for when you unlock Arval, as their gender-locked classes technically reflect what you chose for Shez on your current playthrough. Obviously, you don't need that much Gremory redundancy. Three Hopes has non-tome weapons that rely on your magic stat for attacking, not to mention some skills that can go on other normal weapons, which can also use your magic stat for damage, even when you're just hitting them with a sword, spear, axe, or bow. For units that could be Gremorys, the Gauntlets one doesn't even matter. Again, because of this stupid idea of gender-locked classes. You should definitely have some good Gremorys in your roster, but keep in mind that you will probably never bring more than one to a battle, and it would be a shame to have over a quarter of your roster with the same speciality. It is important to know this class, and it is a lot of fun when you're destroying enemies with your magic on the battlefield. However, it's a lot smarter to be a good general first. I'm sure that you will choose wisely. Big thank you to my top Patreon supporters, Henry Gutierrez, Ryan Poe, and Shin Lu, as well as to everyone else who supports me over on Patreon. Without them, this video simply couldn't have gotten made. If you would like to support this channel doing what it does, be sure to check out the link in the description or find me on Patreon under Shanebrain.